Grüß Gott, I'm Sister Martina, and today we are going to talk about Pope Leo XIII. He was Pope between 1878 and 1903. He was also an Italian, Gioacchino Pecci, son of a family of high class, we would say. Very, very brilliant in his studies, like Pius IX, a doctor, a professor, university professor. Leo XIII had really a close contact and a great knowledge of the sciences of his time. He lived all his life in great friendship with intellectuals, with scientists, even non-Christian scientists, and he had also a very important diplomatic career. He was ordained as a young man still, and a person of very, very great openness to the modern science, so to say, and a person of great and deep knowledge also. And going on with the orientation, the direction that Pius IX had already given the Church, Leo XIII will dedicate his pontificate, among many other things, of course. He for example, reopened the astronomical observatory in the Vatican and the Vatican archives and so on. But he dedicated his pontificate to finding and determining what is the role of the Church in the modern world. What Pius IX had said, that the modern Christians can and should be liberals in the sense of being for freedom, being for liberty, but should not think that we can be free without God. Leo XIII will think then, what exactly is the role of the Church in this modern society, which is totally liberal, plural. We have so many different political tendencies, so many different social tendencies also, races, classes, and even more today, of course, than in his time. And what should the Church do? What is exactly the practical, historical role of the Church? And with this, he will begin what is called the Catholic social doctrine. The historical point of it is his encyclical Rerum Novarum, which was published in 1891 and is considered the mother of all social encyclicas. And people think that Catholic social doctrine means the party of the Church, the politics of the Church, or what is the Catholic politics or the Catholic party. And this is exactly what Leo XIII is saying is not what the Church should do. What he says is the role of the Church must be always a spiritual role, never a political role in the sense of parties or ideologies or so on. The Church must only give the orientation. The Church must only be there so people can recourse to her and find the orientation they need. The Church must be a sign of God. That is what the Church is, with its sacraments and liturgy and so on. The Church must bring God into society, not to impose upon society, but to give society this choice of finding God. This is exactly the martyrs, the saints, and so on. Not people that impose their faith on others, but people who are there as witnesses of faith. And Pope Leo XIII developed this idea that we should be as Christians liberals in the sense of the possibility of many political parties, many different social organizations, many different social cultures. This is a richness. This is no problem at all. And we are free. Each one of us is free to choose my own profession, my own political views, my own family, and so on. The thing is that we can never forget, as Pius IX had said, that God is the source of all justice and all good and all right. And in this sense, the church is there to make a work that is actually behind the social work. It's the work of reminding people of God, of bringing people to God, of somehow acting upon the souls and hearts of people so they can freely then build the society as they wish it to be, but with God, in God, under what is justice, just and good. Democracy, says Leo XIII, is always something that should be based in God, in the belief that there is faith, that there is good and justice. Of course, again, this is a free way of each one of us, and in this sense we can dialogue then with other religions, with other people of goodwill, all of us trying to find what is good and what is true. But there is a truth, there is a goodness, and we should never forget it in order to be really free, really democratic. The historical influence of Leo XIII is enormous, although the history books very much influenced, of course, in our times by anti-Christian or anti-church ideas. Don't speak of him very much. His influence, for example, in the reconstruction of Europe after Second World War is essential. Adenauer here in Germany, Charles de Gaulle in France, Schuman, the founder of the European Union, De Gasperi in Italy. Schuman was just beatified some weeks ago. De Gasperi has a process of canonization. Were politicians that exactly followed this orientation, not the party of the church, because the church has no party, but this orientation of the church. There is only a good society when we don't forget God, and these were deeply Christian in the case of the four of them, deeply Catholic people. And the friendship between France and Germany after the war, the reconstruction of Germany, and the openness. Germany is today a very open, a very Christian society in many senses, although secularized, of course. And we saw the results of these words of Leo XIII very, very concretely, mostly in European history. On the other side, all the history of the United States, for example, and much of English political philosophy also have a lot to do with exactly this idea. Chesterton, Lord Acton, and so on all say that we should be liberal in what concerns politics, society. The church doesn't impose on us one party or one way, but this liberalism is a true liberalism, a liberalism that implies the existence of God, of justice, of goodness. We can never forget that in order exactly not to fall into a dictatorship. Leo XIII was very friendly with the English cardinals of his time, Newman, of course, St. John Henry Newman, Cardinal Manning also, who were people very much full of this kind of thought. Freedom means really plurality in society, but it means also faith. And each one of us, in our freedom, with our good conscience, have done the task, the mission of constructing a society, of building our own lives according to our freedom, but most of all, before that, according to God, according to what is good, according to what we in our souls, in our hearts, in our conscience, find and know to be good, to be just. All the best to you. May Leo XIII bless us from heaven in our mission, in our world of today. Until next time, God bless you.